I once watched a tough, hard-working guy lose a case he should have won. Not because he was lying, not because it wasn't the other driver's fault. He lost the case because he was tough. He told everybody at the wreck that he was fine because he was a tough guy, drove himself home, took some ibuprofen, rested, got up the next morning and went to work just like everything was fine. And he did this because that's who he was. He was a tough guy, a hard-working man, and that's who he was. 2 weeks later, he could barely lift his arm over his head. Only then did he decide to go see a doctor. But because it was 2 weeks later, the insurance company took one look at what was going on and said that gap in treatment means that he could have been hurt anywhere else doing anything else, and they weren't going to consider the injury that he was now claiming to have been from the wreck, and that was actually from the wreck. The other side comes back with what they always say if there's a gap in treatment. If somebody was really hurt, they would really go to a doctor. They don't take into consideration a lot of things, like I have a life to lead. I've got children to take care of. If I don't make my hours, I can't put peas and carrots on the table. I've got a mortgage. I've got a car payment. Hurt or not, I've got to work. The other side doesn't care about that. That's where we come in. I'm John Michael Bailey, and I'm an injury lawyer, and I'm going to say something that's probably going to surprise you. The very most important person for you to see first after an accident, it isn't me, it's a doctor. Get to the doctor, document your injuries. That is most critical for your case. If you don't see the doctor right after the accident, you could lose your case. I would love for you to call me from the accident scene and would welcome that phone call. But truly, you need to get to the doctor as a higher importance than calling me. And that's the unvarnished truth. And the reason it's so critical is because it's about your health. You are absolutely irreplaceable. So your health needs to take the ultimate priority immediately after a traumatic event. Hey everybody, before we get into all this, I want to tell you we're running a contest. And it's going to be at the very end, and we will tell you what the contest is and how you can enter into it. We're going to take all the correct answers for the contest and put them in a hat and pull 3 winners. So be sure to stick around all the way to the end. Go ahead and make your entry, and good luck to all of you, and hopefully you'll be one of the 3 winners. Thanks much. Let's get into it. Let's start with why you say I'm fine to begin with, and that is your body dumps a fire hose of adrenaline into your body, and that adrenaline lies to you. The adrenaline is part of the fight or flight mechanism that God put in our bodies. This is how He designed us, and that is to make sure that you can move and act and do things like that, but you're not fine. That adrenaline is lying to you. That adrenaline is going to wear off. It's going to leave your body. And then you're going to realize that, in fact, you're not fine. You actually do hurt. It might take an hour. It might take a week. Waiting an hour to go see a doctor is not a problem. Waiting a week to see a doctor is a problem. And this adrenaline, this is really powerful stuff. I mean, it's chemistry. But this is what gives moms, for instance, the strength to lift up a car to get their child out from under it, or to pull up a storm grate and rescue a child that's fallen into the sewer system. This is what God gave us to handle the emergencies, but it's not forever. It's temporary. It is limited. So remember that. You might feel fine, but you are not fine. You're not a medical professional. Get to one as quickly as you can. We all know what happens. You're standing on the side of the road. I mean, your arms and legs are still hooked to your body. You can move them. You might feel some stiffness in your neck and in your back, but you're saying to yourself, I have survived this. I'm good, and I'll be okay, because you're a tough guy or a tough lady, as the case may be, and you're thinking, okay, I have survived this, I'm blessed, let me just get moving on with my life and everything like that. But remember that adrenaline is lying to you, the chemistry will wear off, and you will find out after a period of time that you're not fine. And here's where the medical and the legal process hits one another, because every day that goes by that you do not seek medical treatment is a day that the other side can accuse you of either A, making up the injuries, because if you were really hurt, you go see a doctor, or B, if you are injured, you injured yourself somewhere else, doing something else in another incident, because again, if you were hurt in a traumatic incident, you'd have gone to the doctor. So either way, for whatever reason, they're going to use, the other side is going to use that gap against you to try to deny you what you really are entitled to. There is even a specific phrase for this that's used all the time, and it's called gap in treatment. I've used it in this video, and that's the measure of time between the actual incident itself and the time that you see a doctor. Now, let me explain a little bit more about this. For instance, if you go to the doctor, let's say that you go to the emergency room, and the emergency room, let's say they run x-rays and they release you and say, if you still have problems, go see a doctor. And then you start feeling numbness and tingling going up and down your arms and legs. And then you go to your primary care or your regular doctor, or just a little doc in the box clinic, and they say, because you have these symptoms, and those symptoms are called radiculopathy, that's the numbness and the tingling, we think you should go and get an MRI. Well, let's say it takes between a week, 10 days, 2 weeks from that doctor sending you and you getting in to get that MRI. That is not considered to be a gap in treatment, because you've been continually treating with medical professionals during the entire time since the traumatic incident. The I'm fine or the gap in treatment, those are the two biggest things that the other side uses against you. And if you've said I'm fine and then you have a gap in treatment, well, just think of it as two baseball bats that they can use to beat you over the head with. It all boils down to one big argument: I'm not hurt. So when you put these two things together, I'm fine and a gap in treatment, you are giving the other side all the ammunition they could ever ask for. As I said before, there's a million reasons why people don't go to the doctor. Most people don't have a regular doctor. We can help you find somebody who is trauma trained. Most people go to their PCP if they do have a doctor. I love my PCP, but we call them Dr. Sniffles and Dr. Flu. That's what they're trained to treat. They are not trained to treat trauma. You need to see a trauma-trained medical provider. You don't know one. Most people don't. We can help you find one. People are often afraid of the bills. Well, I don't know how much the bill is going to be. I either don't have insurance or my health insurance is not very good. I don't know if I can hurt. I know I'm hurt. I don't know if I want to run up that bill. Well, we can find people who will wait until the case is over to get paid, so that you can get the medical treatment that you need while the case is going on. Now remember, hurting for free, that's not the game plan that you want to grab a hold to, because the insurance company, the other side, will always be very willing to let you hurt for free and walk away from a wrong that was done to you free to them, with you getting nothing. Even more important, if you are seeing a doctor, listen to the doctor. Follow the doctor's advice. If the doctor says, I think you need to go to physical therapy 3 times a week for 3 weeks, don't go twice and release yourself. Because to the other side, you might as well take a great big sign and walk up and down on the sidewalk outside of their office saying, I'm fine, I'm not really hurt, or if I was hurt, I wasn't hurt in this traumatic accident. I know what you're saying. Okay, J and B, I hear you. But where do I go? What do I do? Okay, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. Now, let's get into it. Listen, if you've got head pain, chest pain, numbness and tingling going up and down your body, you got broken bones, you need stitches, things like that, go to the emergency room. The police will likely call an ambulance for you. Don't argue with the EMTs. Get in that ambulance, go get checked out, let a doctor treat you. Option 2, your primary care doctor. But a lot of times you can't get in immediately, you have to make an appointment. If that's the case, go to a walk-in medical clinic and at least get them to check you over, make sure there's nothing going on that would adversely affect your health until you can get into your primary care physician to get a referral to a trauma-trained medical provider. Lastly, you can pick up the phone and call us. We find people, doctors, all day, every day, who will treat people who have been in traumatic incidents and will wait until the case resolves to get paid. So there's no excuse for not getting medical treatment. And when you get to that doctor, tell him the truth, the whole truth. Tell him everything. Tell him everywhere you hurt. Don't go sit in front of that doctor and say, I'm fine. Because if you do, guess what's going to happen? The doctor's going to write in his records, patient came in and said they were fine. Why would you do that? You went to the doctor because you were hurting. Tell the doctor the truth. Say, doctor, I hurt here, I hurt there, I hurt everywhere. And then be specific. Tell the doctor everything. If you've got a history of prior injuries, tell the doctor because it makes a difference in how the doctor can treat you. So get in front of the doctor. When you're in front of the doctor, tell the truth and tell the whole truth and don't hold back. Remember, you're not John Wayne. This isn't a Western. At the end of this, you're not going to ride off in the sunset and kiss your horse. You're going to go back to the same life that you've always lived. And if you don't take care of yourself, you could have lifetime injuries that you never dreamed that you have and that are unresolved and that will follow you and affect the quality of your life forever. Don't do that to yourself. I've touched on this briefly, but let's go over it again because it's really important. Follow the doctor's plan. When you get to a trauma-trained person, they're going to assess what's going on with you, and they're going to give you, in their considered knowledge, the very best possible plan for you to get better. Most of the time, it's going to be a series of diagnostic tests. It could be MRIs, could be x-rays, could be other things that you're going to have to go and get done. Go get them done. The doctor needs those to figure out what's going on with you and get a plan together. They will likely send you to a physical therapy place because physical therapy does help with injuries. And they're going to tell you you probably need 3 to 6 weeks of physical therapy on a regular basis, 2 to 3 times a week. Go there. Go there. And if you can't make it, because we understand kids, life, work, family, mom is sick, your aunt needs to go to the doctor. There's a million things that can happen. What we have our clients do is if they're going to have trouble making an appointment, we ask them to call us so that we can call the doctor's office for them and document the reason why you are postponing or missing. And then if you have to make up a session, go make it up. Because this way, we have established a consistent pattern of you following the doctor's instructions. No judge, no jury in the world is going to hold it against you. Sick children, school conferences, things like that, cars breaking down. It happens to all of us every day. That's just part of everyday life. So, protect yourself. You can either call, or if you're our client, call us and we'll call for you, but make sure that you have a consistent record of following the doctor's advice. All right, thanks for listening. I know this has been a lot, but let's bring it all home, guys. Adrenaline lies to you. The gap is their weapon. Go to the doctor early. Tell the truth. Follow the plan. If you follow these steps, you're going to be so much better off With or without a lawyer, I'm giving you this information free. But let me say, we would love to talk to you about your case. We're open 24/7, 365. We never close. You can call us and tell us about your case. We'll give you a free evaluation. The call is free. There's no obligation. And if we take care of your case for you, you don't pay us unless we win. And I'm, again, John Michael Bailey, John Michael Bailey Injury Lawyers, 888-WE-FIGHT, www.collegeinb.com. Now, we are running a contest. So in the comments, if you will drop the city that you're watching from and what movie these two cars are famous for, we're going to put all the correct guesses into a hat and draw 3 winners for a prize. And I will tell you a hint. This is a 1968 Fastback Mustang with a 390. This is a 1968 Charger RT with a 440. And they're very famous cars out of a very famous movie. So remember 2 things: where you're watching us from and your guess. And we will pull the names, put them in a hat, pull them out, and then let everybody know who the winners were. So thanks for listening. Again, John Michael Bailey, John Michael Bailey Injury Lawyers. If you can hear my voice, I wish you peace and joy. And I hope to talk to everybody real soon.